Hey everyone. So today we're going to dive into a really simple story, but one that has this surprisingly powerful lesson packed inside. It's all about confronting those parts of ourselves we usually try to run away from, and what happens when we just stop running. So let me start with a question for you. Just think about this for a second. What if your greatest rival was actually on your side? You know that one thing you're always fighting against? What if it wasn't an enemy at all, but maybe an ally in disguise? It's a big thought, I know, but a short story about a boy and his shadow might just give us a clue. All right, so our story kicks off with this nightly ritual, a race that seems impossible to win. And this is where we meet our main character, a kid named Aaron, who's stuck in this same struggle night after night. I want you to picture this, right? The sun's getting low in the sky, casting these super long shapes across a field. And every single evening, without fail, Aaron is out there just sprinting, trying to beat an opponent he can never, ever outrun. Now, this wasn't just some fun little game for him. Oh no, for Aaron, this race was personal. He was pouring every last bit of his frustration into it, absolutely desperate to win. And his shadow? It was just effortless, always right there, either ahead of him or beside him, kind of like this constant mocking reminder of his own limits. So as you can imagine, this frustration just builds and builds. And then one evening, Aaron just decides, that's it, I've had enough. He tells himself, tonight is the night I finally win this thing. And man, he just goes for it. You can almost feel it, can't you? His feet are just pounding the ground, his breath is burning in his chest. He is giving it absolutely everything he's got, ignoring the pain with his eyes locked on beating that dark shape right next to him. And then, bam, in a flash, it's all over. Just when he thinks he might actually be getting ahead, one little unseen stone changes the entire game. It's that awful sudden moment where all your effort just crashes into something you can't move. He just goes down and hard. The ground just rushes up to meet him, you know? He scrapes his hands, his knees. The race is over. He lost. Again. But you know what? This is where the real pain kicks in. It's not about the scraped knees or the dirt. It's that awful feeling deep inside, that little voice whispering that he's a failure. He's just sitting there on the ground, tears stinging his eyes, totally crushed by this idea that he's just not good enough to win at anything. But it's right here, at his lowest point, in this moment of complete and total defeat, that something starts to shift. It's funny how sometimes when we stop fighting so hard, we finally get a chance to see things in a new light. So as he's sitting there, kind of small and shaking, he looks over at his shadow. And it's different. It's not ahead of him anymore. It's not mocking him. It's actually fallen over him, almost like a quiet blanket. It's just there, with him. And this is the light bulb moment. The whole thing flips. Aaron realizes his shadow wasn't some enemy he had to beat. It only existed because of him. It was proof, undeniable proof that he was out there, on that field, trying his best. His greatest rival was, in fact, his most constant companion. So he slowly gets to his feet, wipes his face, and in this really small, quiet moment, he whispers, thanks. He says it to the very thing he'd been fighting for so long. And yeah, he probably felt a little silly doing it, but I bet he also felt this brand new kind of strength. Okay, so this is where we get to the heart of it, right? Because let's be honest, we all have a shadow, don't we? The psychologist Carl Jung actually called this the shadow self. It's all the parts of ourselves we don't really like, the things we try to hide, our insecurities, our flaws. So the big question is, how do we stop racing against them? Well, Aaron's story actually gives us a pretty clear 4-step guide. Step 1 is simple. Stop running. Just like Aaron did when he fell. Let yourself have that moment of failure or exhaustion and just stop fighting it. Then, step 2, observe without judgment. Just look at that part of you that you don't like. Don't label it as an enemy. Just see it for what it is. Okay, step 3, recognize its purpose. Ask yourself, what is this flaw really telling me? A lot of the time, it's just proof that you're trying, that you're growing. And finally, step 4, move forward together. Accept it. It's part of you, a companion on your journey, not some competitor you have to beat. So I'm going to ask you directly, what's your shadow? What's that one insecurity or flaw that you've been trying to outrun for, who knows, maybe years? Just take a second and really think. What would it actually feel like to just stop racing it? And that's really what the story leaves us with. This powerful idea that maybe the things we think are chasing us, the things we think are holding us back, are actually the very things that hold us up. They're proof that we're still in the game, still moving, still trying. And there's a lot of strength in that.